Good afternoon, and welcome to our roundtable. Today we're talking about an important topic, mainstreaming disability in public policy. With me are two experts. Emily Thompson is a social policy advisor with over 10 years of experience in inclusive planning. Michael Reed is a disability rights advocate who works closely with local governments. Thank you both for joining us.
Thank you, Daniel. I'm glad to be here. When we talk about mainstreaming disability, we mean making sure that people with disabilities are considered in every part of public life. It's not about giving special treatment. It's about equal access. For example, when cities plan new buildings, they should be accessible to everyone. That means ramps, elevators, and clear signs. If we wait to add those things later, it costs more and it sends the wrong message. That inclusion is optional. It shouldn't be. Inclusion should be part of the plan from the beginning.
Absolutely. Thank you, Daniel, and thank you, Emily. For me, mainstreaming disability means making sure that people with disabilities are not left behind in policies that affect everyone. Too often, we see policies made without asking people with disabilities for input. And the result? Services they can't use. Take public transportation, for example. If buses don't have lifts, or drivers aren't trained to assist people with mobility challenges, then those people can't travel safely. That's not just inconvenient, it's discrimination. Mainstreaming means changing the system so people with disabilities can fully participate in society, not just fit into the cracks.
Thank you both. That's a strong start. Now, Emily, what do you think governments can do to make real progress?
The first step is changing how we think about disability. It's not just a medical issue. It's a social issue, a human rights issue. Governments need to collect better data about people with disabilities. If we don't know how many people are affected or what barriers they face, how can we design policies that help? Also, training is key. Policymakers and civil servants need to learn about disability inclusion. It's not just about wheelchair access. It's about communication, attitudes, and accessibility in every form: physical, digital, and social.
I agree, and I'll add something else. Representation. People with disabilities need to be part of the decision-making process. They should sit on policy committees, work in government offices, and speak at public hearings. Real inclusion happens when people with lived experience help shape the policies that affect them. And yes, funding matters too. It's not enough to write inclusive laws. We need to fund the changes: accessible infrastructure, inclusive education, support services. Without proper funding, good policies remain just words on paper.
Thank you both for sharing these thoughtful insights. Before we close, I'd like to ask each of you one final question. If you could change one thing in public policy today to better include people with disabilities, what would it be?
I would introduce a rule that no new policy can be approved without a disability impact review. That means checking each policy to see if it helps or harms people with disabilities. This simple step would push every department to think about inclusion from the start. It would also help prevent mistakes that are costly to fix later.
And I would create a National Disability Advisory Council made up mostly of people with disabilities that reports directly to top leaders. This council would review laws, suggest changes, and help monitor progress. Too often, disability issues are pushed to small offices with little power. We need strong voices in high places.
That's a powerful message to end on. Thank you, Emily. Thank you, Michael. It's clear that mainstreaming disability is not just the right thing to do, it's the smart thing to do. Let's keep working toward a more inclusive future for all.